So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hummingbird Assembly. I am Reverend Michelle, and it's my pleasure to lead you all in our weekly gathering. I'm going to begin, as I do each week, with our intention and our mission. Our intention is to stimulate thought, create connection, and expand consciousness. And at the Hummingbird Assembly, we are an assembly of people who will teach each other to find the miracle of joyful living from life's circumstance to accomplish that which seems impossible. Our announcements for this week, we have a few new ones, so I'm going to do them first so that I get them done. First, if you are making donations, and we'll discuss that in a moment, please make sure that you put your first and last name on your envelope. We're tracking all of these things so that when we receive our charitable status, we're able to issue receipts. In order to do that, we need to know exactly who you are. So if you have a long-standing envelope, just please slap your last name on it. That would be wonderful. We'd also ask that as our organization is growing, that people could please do their best to not wear any perfumes or scents. We do have a larger group of people who, some of them have scent sensitivities, and we don't want anybody to leave here sick. We come here to feel better. So if you could try and keep that in mind when you get ready for assembly, that would be wonderful. We would all deeply appreciate that. Last week, we introduced the sign-up sheets for people who wanted to help us set up this space and people who wanted to help us clear the space. They were all on one list last week. You had to sign up for both beginning and end. But this week, we've split them out. So you can sign up for a start, or you can sign up for a finish. So please do take a look at the list over there and volunteer time. We really appreciate the support that you can give us on either end of the day. Okay, and we continue to collect awakening stories. These are the stories that we invite you to share with us about when you started looking for something like the Hummingbird Assembly and what it's brought to your life. And perhaps you want to discuss with us when you realized that you were a co-creator, a conscious collaborator of your life experience rather than a victim of circumstance. Whatever your awakening story might look like, we would love it if you would share it with us. Our intention is to compile them all together in an ebook so that people can download them from our social media platforms so they don't feel quite so alone when they too are going through their process. To do that, we invite you to send your story to admin@hummingbirdAssembly.com. That address again is admin@hummingbirdAssembly.com. At the back of the room, by that little sink under the clock, there are two little boxes. Oh, Vanna is there now, demoing them as appropriately. In the white box, we invite you to make a donation to help us fund the ongoing costs of a burgeoning assembly. We do appreciate your contribution for the things that we need to take care of and legal aspects and things like that. So if you are able to contribute, please do. If you are not able to contribute, your presence is vastly more important than your financial contribution. So please just come. The green box is way more important, in my opinion. It's where I invite you to make a suggestion about what you would like to talk about, because this is your assembly and I want the discussion to stay relevant and current to your life. So if anything comes up for you, somebody was approaching me today with some comments from Abraham Hicks that they would like to discuss. Absolutely, let's write them down and put them in the box. If you would like to discuss them sooner rather than later, because as some of you know, we are working our way through 20 of the universal laws, please mark that on the note so that we can switch the conversation and come back to the laws, because they're not changing. They've been around for hundreds of years. We don't need to worry about them going anywhere. And I think that's it. So now that all of that is out of the way, let us begin with our opening intention. May I come to understand that blessings are everywhere, that my attitude will affect outcomes, that challenges are often gifts in disguise. May I come to trust that most things can get better with time, that my instincts and gut feelings have value, and that a positive attitude makes things go smoother. May I come to see that I have many skills and talents I can use, that I am a positive influence on many people, and that there are those around me who wish me well. May I come to value that today is a blessing to enjoy, that each person is unique and important, and that each moment of my life has meaning. Okay, so today we are discussing the universal law of fellowship. This is law number 13. We're more than halfway through the list. Why don't you come closer? Fellowship. Why don't you come closer?
No, I'm okay.
You can see you. Really? We would love to see you.
Mostly I'm hearing you. It's
Okay.
good. And I can see everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the universal law of fellowship says, when two or more people of similar vibration are gathered for a shared purpose, their combined energy directed to the attainment of that purpose is doubled, tripled, quadrupled, or more. This esoteric awareness has been used by covens, esoteric religions, healing groups, and recently, worldwide meditations for peace. This is the law of universal fellowship. Amen.
That's what's happening here with Hummingbird Assembly.
I think so, yes.
It's growing. The good vibrations are spreading.
Indeed.
Anybody here old enough to remember the Beatles?
Yeah.
Good vibrations. Yeah. Good vibrations.
When two or more people of similar vibration are gathered for a shared purpose, their combined energy directed toward the attainment of that purpose is doubled, tripled, quadrupled, or more. Anybody have any comment? You look like you're considering something.
Just what their direct energy. Read what it says. Their direct energy.
Their energy directed to the attainment of that purpose. So each week we gather here, and I say that our intention is to stimulate thought, create connection, and expand consciousness. So those three things would be my purpose.
Yes. So when we all gather to do said thing, we are quadrupling our energy.
Our individual capacity to accomplish that. It's that whole idea of two heads are better than one.
The law of one.
Because we're all one.
I also think, like, when I leave here personally, I always feel like I panic. Like last week, I thought, I'm going to sleep in, I'm not going to come. And then I went, get your butt out of bed, because you know you'll feel good after. So getting here is a challenge for me. But once I'm here, I feel fabulous. And then I leave, and I carry that
You're
with
always so early, Nancy. You could sleep for another 20 minutes.
me. That's just a habit of mine. Too early. I'm always too early. But anyway, but then, you know, you feel really good, and then you go out into the world and you kind of spread it for a while.
Right.
You know, so I'm trying to learn to get the spreading of it, the lasting of it to last longer throughout the week. You know what I mean? To keep the feeling. And
That vibration. It talks about here a similar vibration.
because there's like good vibes here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Along with Nancy's comment, if you go someplace and a lot of people are depressed, and if you allow yourself, you'll go into that depression as well. And as you watch throughout the afternoon or whatever the meeting, the depression seems to get bigger and heavier and things like that. So it's kind of the same thing, that we're all energy, and we vibrate at a certain frequency. If we get around people and we don't control our vibration, we can go that direction. But we can also help lift that as well. But if we come in and we spread out our energy of love and light, a lot of times you'll watch a lot of people in the group lift. So when you're looking at the law of fellowship, it has a lot to do with how we affect each other and how we lift each other up.
You got sparked about something. One sec.
When she had said, you know, when you go into a room and everybody is depressed, and then you can become depressed. It reminded me of that thing that you had told me, or I think it was that one, I don't know who it was who did the demonstration, that I wasn't there that day, about
Barb
the
and
pendulum.
the pendulum. Yeah.
And then the point was that if you're depressed, it's not actually emanating, it's the
void.
It's the void. So then if you're going into a room where it's void of energy, how long can you keep your energy up?
Right. Trying to fill that space.
Trying to fill the space.
Yeah.
Oh, it just reminded me of that when she said that.
Yeah.
Because really that would be the power of you, I guess, right?
If space is void and we're all a conduit of the source, then we can pull in more source to fill that void. We can send that out like an atmosphere, create an atmosphere around us, within us, to affect those around us that want to be affected.
Well, there are other people, which I'm sure you've experienced, you go in and you're all, bubbly and happy, and then they're like, oh, it feels so great when you're around, because you're just so
I feel that all the time.
I know, right?
Yeah, it is.
I feel that there was a lot more fellowship in years past, and that we were lacking it in society now, not necessarily us per se, but if you think about previous, the communities were small, they stayed within their communities, they didn't have ability to really go travel far or commute far or whatnot, and as we've gotten further along, there's such a disconnect. People stopped going to church or didn't do as many family things together, or
We become so isolated.
and things like this are amazing to bring people back together, and even online too, we have the ability to bring people back together with that like-minded connection and that fellowship, and raising your vibration. And for people like us, it's amazing that we can tap into that, and we want to tap into that, and we're growing and gathering more people into our vibration and groups, and to get back to a place where there is more fellowship in society to help raise the vibration of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So going back to the previous point about that void and the negative kind of feeling, what other tools can you use to help keep your vibration up after we leave here? Or if you go to work and you're in a sort of a really negative space, what other tools can you use? What are things that help increase your vibration if you're not able to come to Hummingbird every day?
Well, if we fall back to last week's discussion,
Okay,
gratitude.
gratitude. Okay,
Right?
that raises
An expression
the
of gratitude will elevate you.
Okay. Yeah, and I've heard music.
Yeah, music.
I was going to say, it's things that bring you joy, anything that you can explore
Okay,
that brings you joy. So for me, it would definitely be music.
okay,
But for other people, it might be meditation.
okay.
For others, it might be dance. For others, it might be cooking. For some, it might be writing. And what's interesting is that all of those things that I've listed off are creative pursuits.
Mhm.
And the idea of that is that when you are engaged in your natural creativity, you are connecting to what Kaylee said before, the divine, the source.
Okay.
You were going to say something, Beth.
Yeah.
Eagerly.
What's that?
Eagerly.
Eagerly. Lindsay, I've taken the intention with me, our opening intention, and when I'm feeling down, I pull it out of my purse, and it brings me right back here.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
That's great.
You can also pull down the source energy through you and just fill you totally up, and then send it out. And if you swirl it around, it's like a record. So you know how a record swirls and something you put on it, it'll just spin off.
Okay.
It's the same type of thing. So when you create your aura of divine energy, it'll keep all that negativity out of your sphere, and you'll actually start to impact those people around you. And you can send that aura out as big as you want. You can send it out to the universe, to universes beyond. If you think.
And often people connect a color to what that energy looks like. So you can imagine yourself surrounded in gold. You may surround yourself in purple. A lot of people associate purple with the color of the divine. White as well, with the color of white light, just pure pushing out from you.
Okay.
You can ground yourself and send the negativity that you're picking up down into the earth for Mother Earth to take care of. You can stand up 3 times and just jump and say, I am happy 3 times. And just
That would go well at work.
But it's getting that energy at play again. And just leaving and opening yourself up to it and just capitalizing it. The more you practice, the more happens.
That sounds like a happy temper tantrum. I am happy. I like it.
You can have a lot of fun saying all kinds of ludicrous ways, and then you'll be hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Until it starts going really.
Laughter yoga is a lot of fun. But to come back to the law of fellowship, it's talking about a shared purpose in particular.
But when we humans, you can use that to the good or ill, right? Because
Yes.
you can have, that's how you get.
What is the
plan,
shared
for example,
purpose?
Or whatever. So the shared purpose, right? So here we're about, broadening our enlightenment or whatever.
Yeah.
So and supporting each other and uplifting each other. So it's fellowship for a happy reason, and
Right.
Versus what it could be and what other people have used it for, like fear mongering, which is kind of going on, I think, a lot in the States.
Well, it's been happening globally for
Forever.
decades in
For
particular.
all.
It's been coming to a point. But I wanted to ask this idea about a shared purpose. Does it have to be something that we all agree to? Because I say at the beginning of each assembly that we are gathering to expand consciousness, create connection, but you guys don't necessarily say it. And maybe that's not why you're here. Maybe you're here because you want to see what other people have to say. Maybe you're here because you just feel like you can't be alone anymore. Do we have to share the purpose, or is our presence enough? Do you understand the question I'm asking?
As long as
That's
it's
our
raising our
presence.
vibration, whatever we're getting from it, if it's raising our vibration, then our presence is enough.
Maybe it's like a race though, right? So
Sorry, I can't
maybe
hear
it's
you.
like a race in a way, right? Two of you can walk the race, but your time is 2 hours. But if both of you had the common purpose of running the race, then you would hit that finish line in an hour instead. And so we're all here. But if you have that same end goal, you would achieve it in a bigger, better way. Like you still get there, it just maybe in a different, slower way. I don't know.
Was that for Barb today?
Maybe.
Run, Don, run!
But also, I would think that my purpose is different than yours. It's
Right.
different from everybody else.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Yeah, but when we all leave, do you think that was fantastic? We totally did what I intended for all
Do
of us
I
to
think
do.
that?
Yeah.
I do, actually.
Well, there you go then. And if I leave and say, wow, that was fantastic. I really wanted to hear what Sabrina had to say, and totally got there. It was amazing. So if we all feel fulfilled in our own purpose for coming here,
Yeah.
is that not, there's
That's
no one
what
that's
I'm
going to be
asking.
like, no,
This was my need this week.
yeah.
I should have stayed home. She slept in.
I would want to suggest that it wouldn't matter really what the surface purpose would be. I think when you boil it down deep down, people will want to have love. And
Boom.
Bingo.
That's the meme.
I'm writing it.
Say that one more time.
I don't know.
When we boil it all down.
When you boil it all down, people just love. Absolutely. Or not just love, but people want love.
I need that on a hat.
Yeah.
I like that one. So I want to ask this question because a year ago, our regular numbers were like 7 or 8 people. So those of you who have been here since the beginning, now that we are like 4 times that size, my question is, does size matter? Go ahead. But
I'm going to make that
but
the
it
meme.
says, but it says when we are together, it's double, triple, quadrupled. And the implication I get here where it says or more is into infinity. So did it matter when there were just like 5 of us? Did we feel the same when we left versus when we leave now? Or do we feel bigger somehow, or do we still feel the same? That's the question I wanted to explore.
Well, I know,
Jacqueline, let's hear it, because you've been here since we were about 20 people.
Smaller, in fact, and it didn't matter. The fact that I found you was by fluke. I took you back and tried. Can you hear me okay? And I came for I'm praying for connecting me with spiritual, like-minded people, bringing me to those people that are positive and sharing those same feelings and such. And this is big.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it feels bigger, sort of, in the feelings that of appreciation and excitement. But we all come in for our reason.
Yeah.
We listen to everybody, we learn something, and we all walk out with feeling that. I think there's enough positive reinforcement, and that's so important to help us grow and connect in a way that when you're talking about depression or being depressed, walking into a room, I was trying to think, okay, what are they referring to, like a group? Because I don't know. I walk in the room and I'm like, hey! People going, why are you so happy?
Right.
Anyway, so I'm feeling right now, I'm so excited because I'm walking here going, oh my gosh, look at how many people there are.
Yeah.
So those of you who were here at the beginning,
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
nothing?
Big or small, my love is the same. It always has
So
been.
size doesn't matter, says Kent.
Says Ken.
This show.
Oh, I'm
It
sorry.
matters to me.
No, but I that's what I wanted to explore, right? And then when I started listening to Jacqueline talk, well, I didn't get to let anybody else speak. Go.
I'm with Kent. To me, size doesn't matter. And the vibration, it's truly exciting that we've grown to what we have. But when I leave, I have the same higher vibration as when we were a smaller group.
Anybody
The
else?
love might intensify because there's more people,
Right.
but I still leave here feeling
Fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I agree, but do you walk in and feel like, wow, before you even get a chance, like, I walked into
I'm not
Fantastic
as soon as I
several
crawl in
times
bed
ago.
Sunday morning.
No.
I'm on my way here.
He says he's wow right from the moment he gets up.
And I guess that's what it is, we look for, like, I'm like, oh, yay,
Perspective,
Sunday.
right? What were you going to say? And then I'll come to you.
Yeah.
You were going to say no? No. Okay.
I came last spring for the first
Yeah.
time, I think when it was in that conference room.
Yeah.
And I loved everyone's vibration, let's put it that way. I was in a place that I've been trying to get out of for a number of years, and I'm getting better and better at getting myself where I want to be. And I felt like when I went there, I felt the same as when I come here about everybody else. What's changed for me is just how I'm viewing myself. That's better than it was a year ago. But the vibration, the feeling that I loved going to the group. I went in fear. I was full of fear, and I went. But I did it. And Janet was the first lady. I was sitting in the parking lot going, I've got the wrong building and everything, and the door was locked. And I was sitting there, and I went, I want this. I want to be with a group of people to discuss spiritual things that are, i.e., not with.
And we want you to.
Well, and then Janet I thought, get out and ask that lady, and it was Janet. She said, oh, come this way. So I'll always remember her and thank her for that.
Yeah.
But so for me, I've changed, but I feel the same good vibrations that I felt back when it was a smaller group. Like, I personally don't think size matters, because I don't think more people are more important than a smaller
Right.
group of less people.
Right.
Like the way I think everybody matters. So if there were two people together, that matters. If it was one person, but like, I just think.
So the exploration that I had while listening to Jacqueline speak, if we think about what we were discussing last week with the law of gratitude and the week before with the law of gratitude, and I feel like it's another law in there, I'm not sure which one, but if we are sharing our wisdom, if we're sharing our experience, and we are receiving in return wisdom and experience and sharing, doesn't that make it bigger somehow? And if you're able to share it with more people, like perhaps that's what you're touching on, right? That we're able to talk to people who are new and say, we're so glad you're here and it's lovely to have you and we've been waiting for you. And they're able to say, wow, you're crazy. You said you've been waiting for me. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, does it grow when we have more people to share it with?
I do.
I'm sure it does.
Do we feel better, like Nancy said, because we are able to glean something from our own experience that we maybe didn't see before?
I'm not sure, like, I feel the same as Nancy, and I'm not sure if it's, because I know when I first came, it was very small. Like, we could all fit in a tiny little room.
So
So
we did.
I know that my anxiety was a lot higher then, but now as